What do the 2024 Pittsburgh Steelers need to do that money can't buy? That nobody can do except for the team? Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's talk about the intangibles that you can't just buy off the street. And if you're looking at Andy Weidel, Omar Khan, Mike Tomlin, and how they're constructing this 2024 roster with veterans and younger guys, it's starting to really take shape. And now there's some variables that have to start to come into play that you just can't buy, that you can't install, that you have to let grow organically. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think you've gotten a good start on that. Last year, late in the season, the Steelers started to realize, I think offensively at least, that coming together as a whole unit, as not being just separated, not being in just your positional rooms. That when you come together and you start to talk about assignments, you start to talk about how you gain the trust from the guy beside you, how you start to gain the belief from the guy beside you, that family type environment. That's when it started to really click. Yes, Mason Rudolph had a big part in that. Why? Because he brought quality NFL quarterback play to the position. But when the Steelers started to come together, and this was said by Jalen Warren and I think a couple others, at least I remember hearing it from him, is, hey, we started meeting together as a unit, a whole unit. And that's what can't be bought, guys. That's what you can't teach. And can Mike Tomlin and this coaching staff, can they get this 2024 team guided in the right direction to start these intangibles, or to start to grow these intangibles that can't be bought, to start to breed that type of family environment? And I know you hear it sometimes about the Steelers. We are family. We're building together. We're a family unit. We got each other's back. That's just not a corny cliche statement. It's the truth. And any team at any level in any sport, if you expect to be a champion, you expect to be a front runner, a team that actually is going to be able to make some noise, you have to have these intangibles that can't be taught. And that is belief in your brother beside you. Trust, family. Those things have to really, really be cultivated early. They have to start growing early in OTAs and mini camps. And here in the offseason, when Russell Wilson is out working with his skill position players, he has to be able to figure that stuff out and start to grow that chemistry. Yes, you're there for timing and all that kind of stuff and route running, getting on the same page, but you have to start to grow that brotherhood. You have to start to grow that family type environment for one another. And it started with Russell Wilson. And if Russell Wilson is going to be the guy in the pole position, the quarterback that is going to be the guy in the lead spot, that's going to be the starter, he has to start to cultivate that now if he wants a chance at winning a championship in 2024. It's the only way. Again, guys, you see these super teams that are built. I've brought this up before some time ago. You see super teams that are built and they don't always succeed. Why? Because you can't buy these things that I'm talking about. You can't just make them pop up. And when you're a fan of these football teams, yes, building the roster is important. Who's playing your right tackle spot? Who's at your center position? Who's going to be your quarterback? Who's going to be that number 2 wide receiver? All very important things and all cool things to talk about here in the offseason. But as a football fan, as a fan of sport, what you really need to be paying attention to, and sometimes it's really hard to see as fans because we don't have the access to these guys, what you're really looking to see is them grow as a family. How you see them interacting with each other. How you see them care about each other. How they talk about each other in the media. Those types of variables. Because that's going to show us what? Are they coming together as a team? Are they believing in one another? Do they believe in the family type atmosphere? Is that what they're trying to cultivate there? That's what we're looking for, those types of things. And I know some people are all about analytics, and that's solid, man. That's all they believe in, analytics, players. This is what has to happen. But you can see a team come together that's full of players that are just average players, and they can really do some damage. Why? Because they believe in one another. And every single play, they know that the other guy standing beside them, the other man standing beside them, has their back on every play. They know one other thing, that they're going to give 190,000% every play. They know they're never going to take a play off. They know in the locker room if they have something going on and they're starting to come off the rails a little bit, that their brother beside them is going to be able to reel them back in and put them in check and get them back on the right path. Those types of things, guys, those are what's going to matter. Those types of variables are the most important when you're building a championship team in any sport. You have to have these. And if you don't see them starting to build and grow, you know your team is going to be in trouble the first time they're truly tested by a squad that comes in that is together, that believes in one another, that believes in the brotherhood, that believes in the family type atmosphere. And when they come into play in big moments, that they're not going to just fall apart and they're not going to start being individuals. They're going to stay as a team and they're not going to crumble. Those are the hardest teams to beat, guys. The absolute hardest teams to beat, because no matter what you do to them, no matter how hard of a shot you throw at them, it's like a boxing match, a heavyweight fight. Like you remember Rocky Balboa when he would just get pounded, but yet coming back, never giving up, continually coming at you. That's what you're looking for. That's that family type thing. That's that intangible that you can't teach. It's that fight, that never give up type attitude. And that's what you got to be able to trust in your brother to do every single play. And when you look at these guys, no matter how hard another football team comes in there and smacks you in the mouth and gives you their best shot, and they put you down a quick 14 points or something. And the crowd's down. Everybody's down. It looks so doom and gloom, but yet you come to the sideline. You remain tight. You remain as a unit. You remain as a family. You have each other's back, and you just start to chip away, play after play after play, and you never stop. You never quit going after that other team. That is what matters. That is what matters, guys. It truly, truly does. And when teams finally realize that, teams finally look at those intangibles and finally say to themselves, guys, we got to have each other's back every play. If somebody fouls up, we correct it, we move on, we don't ride their ass, we don't sit there and throw our hands in the air and complain and give crazy looks on national TV. We don't throw temper tantrums. We don't. We remain steady. We remain as a team. We uplift our brothers on the unit. That is the way to win. That is the only way to win. You have to be a team, and it can't be forced, guys. You can't force these things. I don't care if you go out there and you buy every superstar in the league and you have a $500 million payroll and every superstar in the league is on your team. You could still lose. Why? Maybe they're not a team. Maybe you're going to run into a group of fellas, a group of ladies at whatever sport you're in, that they come in and they are together, they are family, they believe in one another, they trust in one another, and they are going to fight, and they are never going to quit, and no matter what you do to them, you're not going to be able to put them down, because they are going to keep coming and coming after you for the full 60 minutes of the football game. They are never going to stop coming at you. They are going to be like machines, like robots. They will not stop coming after you. And I had to say this here on a Monday, because this is a Monday and we're getting moving toward the week. And we've had some really great weeks. And I just wanted everyone to really get on the same page with this and think to themselves, what are the intangibles that we are really trying to look at here? What are the things that really build a championship football team? And I got to tell you guys, it's trust, belief, brotherhood, family. Those are the things that really make a sports team move, really creates the right environment to have a championship team at any level of sport. Like, you even look at high school, you have to be able to have a group of kids that come in every day and care. Every day they have each other's back. You don't see them making fun of one another. You don't see them ditching one another. You see them constantly together, constantly building with each other. When they get in the weight room, they constantly are fighting with each other in terms of growth, trying to get each other to go, firing each other up, never letting each other down. They see a brother going off the rails a little bit, sliding in one of their classes or something. They have to pick them back up, get them back on track, help them. Those are the things that matter. You look at a pro team, you see a guy maybe going out every night, not really getting in his study book, not really being self motivated. What do? You go over and you start to help him out. You start to guide him. You start to pay attention. That's what you need to do. You need to pay attention to each other, and you really need to watch out for each other and have that family type vibe and watch each other's back. And until you do that, your football team does not win. Period. Yeah, you may be okay, but those regular season championship teams. Those teams that can't get it done in the playoffs, that always fail in the playoffs. They always get to just so close, but yet so far away. Those are those teams. Teams that aren't together. Teams that have talent, yes. Teams that are raw in some spots, but they have phenomenal talent and they can overcome it a lot. But when the chips are down and the stage is big and everything is on the line, they just can't get it done. And that's why. Because they don't have each other's back. They don't have that type of growth at family and team and belief in one another. You have to be able to go out on every single play and look at the guy beside you, to your left, to your right, and know that they are willing to die for you, that they are willing to give it all for you on every single snap. That's what you have to have inside of a football team. And until you have that, you have nothing. You have nothing. Yes, you can have players that don't get along maybe necessarily, or players and coaches that don't necessarily get along, but they understand one thing, and that is they are a family and they have to have each other's back, and they never give up and they never quit. That's what you have to see. You're going to have squabbles in families. You're going to have trouble. Everybody's going to fight back and forth here and there occasionally. But you have to remember one thing, and you have to be able to do one thing, and that's come back together. You have to be able to have each other's back no matter what the circumstance is. And unless you have that going on inside of your family, you don't really have a family. A family cares about each other, always uplifts each other. No matter what the situation is, they give a shit, and they are going to try to steer you in the right direction. Sometimes that requires a little bit of tough love, but that is what it is. It's just what it is. At least you care. Show that you care. And that is the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about here today. And those are the intangibles that I think that everybody else is overlooking. We are all looking at the draft, looking at the analytics, looking at the roster, looking at what player can run this 40 at this time, what player can run this route the quickest, get in and out of his breaks the quickest. And I think we overlook the most important parts. And that is, who are you bringing in? Are they going to be able to build with each other as a family? Are they going to be able to have belief in each other? Are you bringing in the right attitudes? Are you bringing in the right guys? That is the most important part of this whole thing, man. And we can talk about it later here on the live show on Steel City Live tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I wanted to bring that out and get the week started here on, April 8th. April 8th as we head toward the draft. I wanted to get us fired up here for this week. Fired up and look at the right things. Start to look at the intangibles that matter. Start to look at how they are building this roster, and are these guys going to be able to gel together and become a family and have trust and belief in each other. And this may not be your cup of tea, and some may say, oh, Jason, that's corny. Analytics mean more than anything. I just disagree, that's all. I think the most important things about a sports team are family, trust, belief, all of those things. Having each other's backs, those are the things that I think matter the most. Yes, you have to have talent. Of course you do. But the things that matter the most can't be taught, and they can't be bought, and they can't be forced, guys. You have to let them grow, and you have to have guys that want to let them grow, and you have to have guys that want to be in that fight. That's what you have to have. So, guys, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this Monday edition of the show up. Don't look at the solar eclipse today if you're in the path. But anyway, enjoy your day. I'll see you at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Steel City Live. As we'll talk about this and much, much more. We'll talk about the Steelers news of the day, and we'll dive into a lot of things. But until then, make sure you're liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, all that kind of stuff. We're rapidly growing. We're almost to that 3,000 mark. We're getting there. Our goal's 5,000. 1,000 here before summer hits. So let's continue to hit that. And as always, guys, thank you. And until next time, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.